In the days when the flying spaghetti monster came to the Bobby Mountain, he looked upon the earth and saw that the land was devoid of his chosen subjects. In his awesome noodly hugeness, the flying spaghetti monster cast his noodly appendage forth over the Bobby Mountain and said with a noodly growl, "Send forth, my beloved subjects. Be they small, and capable of headbutting tall people in the groin. Let them be capable of acting as mobile beer holders. Let them be cute and cuddly. Let them be capable of riding many a good winner at the races." And into the world the midgets did come, for they were indeed extremely cute and cuddly. The bald midgets were sometimes confused by the flying spaghetti monster with sticks of roll-on deodorant. This amused the flying spaghetti monster greatly, who named the bald midgets the Rexona. In the early days, the midgets grew much basil and herb, and in the absence of protein in their diet, they did not grow tall. And the leader of their tribe was Egbert, for he was so loved by the flying spaghetti monster for his baldness that he was spared from further midget gags as an act of charity. Then one day following the basil harvest, Egbert and the tribe grew restless, and longed for the addition of minced beef in their pasta penne. But Egbert knew additional protein may force him to grow tall, thus forfeiting his venerable midgetness. This would also forfeit his right to receive kids' portion meals at McDonald's, which was a real bummer. And the flying spaghetti monster did appear onto Egbert and the midget tribe and spoke. "Look, guys, I'm really sorry for all the midget gags at your expense. It's really boring being a supreme being sometimes. As a sign of good measure, I will allow you to add ground beef, provided you maintain a balanced diet and don't grow tall." And in a bid to overcome their protein deficiency, the midgets set forth to slaughter everything that moved on the face of the earth. For they did slaughter the armadillo, the antelope, the aardvark, and all other animals between the letters A through Z. And there was great noodly happiness on the slopes of Bobby Mountain, for theirs was the kingdom of protein. Following the great midget reconciliation, the flying spaghetti monster did but enter a great period of self-satisfaction, for his subjects were omnivorous and yet retained their venerable midgetness. And in the great void, feeling pretty damn pleased with himself, he put his mentine tentacles upon his great celestial recliner and mellowed right out. But following many years of relaxation, the great noodly one did become very bored. Despite the presence of his beloved midgets, he was very much alone. Being the only supreme being, there was little or no chance of him meeting a flying spaghetti monster babe for a bit of red-hot action, and absolutely no chance of him hoisting the "if the universe is rockin', don't come a knockin' sign on his celestial door. And in his solitude, the flying spaghetti monster did begin the great boredom incantation that boomed across the sky and shook the little folk from their midget high chairs. I'm bored. I'm really bored. Really bored. I'm really bored. Really bored. I am really bored. I'm so bored. How bored are you? I'm so bored. I find watching Bold and the Beautiful an absolute blast. I'm so bored. How bored are you? I'm so bored. I find watching Oprah the highlight of my day. I'm so bored. How bored are you? I'm so bored I find Bill O'Reilly almost comical. I'm so bored. How bored are... Shut up and I'll tell you. I'm so bored I find Alexander an absolute ripper of a film. Then, following the sighting of several more thousand bad moments in TV and cinema, the Flying Spaghetti Monster did thus end the Great Boredom Incantation. Sad for their master, Egbert ordered the midgets to try really damn hard to cheer Flying Spaghetti Monster up. They dressed up in cute little outfits, Ewoks, munchkins, and assorted furry animals. They even sung cute little pantomime songs from Snow White. But the Flying Spaghetti Monster was unmoved. Egbert, in his adoration for the Flying Spaghetti Monster, raised his pudgy little arms to the sky and screamed, "Dude! What the hell?" The Flying Spaghetti Monster replied, "Egbert, the midgets are my most blessed subjects. You have brought me great piles of basil and herb. You have let me dish out many bad midget jokes at your expense. For you have remained my most venerable subjects, despite the calling many endangered species to eat with your pasta penne. Midgets, well, I get a huge belly laugh paying out on you with bad jokes. There is room for more like you in the lands of Noodle Earth. Well, you are great in many ways. It should be pointed out that you are not perfect. In fact, many of you are bald. In that regard, I have decided to create a new race of littles called the Midget. There will be improvements of great magnitude, and they will all have hair." And the Flying Spaghetti Monster closed his googly eye stalks, and into the world did the Midget pass. And the midget were both happy but jealous. This was mainly due to the improved hairlines of their cousins. And much resentment was forthcoming from the little bald dudes. Following the Flying Spaghetti Monster's Great Boredom Incantation, the midgets did pass into the land of Noodle Earth. For they also did dwell upon Bobby Mountain, but as guest folk of Egbert and the midget people. For the midget hordes, while declaring Bobby Mountain a most venerable place of both historic and spiritual importance, were really damn sick of paying rent. It was time for them to dwell in their own lands, grind their own pasta, and develop their own range of exotic sauces. The Flying Spaghetti Monster never fully revealed the flaws or traits ingrained in his upgraded creations. The midgets, unlike the midgets, were blessed with great amounts of hair on both head and chest, for this was most advantageous for the he-midgets, who found picking up she-midgets a breeze, provided gold chainage and open-chested lurid shirts were worn. The she-midgets were also given hairy chests, which provided the Flying Spaghetti Monster with a few more thousand gags, breaking him new ground on the celestial stand-up comedy circuit. The midgets were great refiners in the art and cultural activities, while the midgets possessed greater farming and hunting skills. While midgets were the providers of many pasta ingredients, the midgets did refine and enhance the pasta dishes of the day. However, the midgets did get most peed off with the midgets, for they spoke with much profanity and were culturally insensitive, speaking poor midgetese. For example, the midget greeting, "Hey, little friend," was thus sullied by the midget with, "Hey, dude." And Egbert also complained to the Flying Spaghetti Monster that the midget were favored in the arts of being cute and cuddly, jockeying, and advanced Italian cooking. The midgets, too, had grown tired of their fellow midgets, whom they deemed simple, unrefined folk. The Flying Spaghetti Monster thought all of this was absolutely hilarious. He was perpetually amused by the cultural differences between the two little folk. Why intervene, he thought. This is just too damn funny. My long boredom has now ended. They can just duke it out. And following the Flying Spaghetti Monster's non-interventionalist policy, Egbert did thus issue a proclamation to the Midgets. Love your hair and cooking skills, but clear off, we were here first. And in reply, the great Midget wrestler and leader of his people, Caxton, did thus reply, "See you around, Baldy." The Flying Spaghetti Monster, saddened by the impending departure of Midget from Bobby Mountain, decided to accommodate them with an intelligently designed new land. For while the Midgets were mountain-dwelling folk, the coastal lands were uninhabited, and the thoughts of marinara and other seafood pasta dishes did thus please him. And thus the Midgets prepared to leave Bobby Mountain. And they did pray to the great Noodly One for safe deliverance to a new land. And they did pray for a land with much basil, herb, and parmesan to supplement their ever-expanding supply of exotic sauces. And with much trembling from his great noodly appendages, the Flying Spaghetti Monster did thus transport the entire Midget population to the great coastal plain. And the Midget kingdom was named Noodleum, to honor his divine relocation, and the cancellation of the Bobby Mountain, Tennessee agreement did thus take place. And Caxton was named the great leader, and a feeling similar to when your flatmate from hell moves out had erupted in both camps, and there was great happiness for years to come in both kingdoms.